I buried my mother on a Tuesday that felt like the end of the world. Her casket lowered into the Kentucky clay under a sky so gray it choked the air from my lungs. That same afternoon, I watched my father slip away from the graveside service with his mistress on his arm, her laughter cutting through the mourner's sobs like a switchblade, heading straight for a weekend getaway in the Smoky Mountains, champagne flutes already clinking in their rental Jeep. And as I stood there alone, the last echoes of Amazing Grace fading, my phone buzzed once in my pocket. A text from Mom's number, time-stamped 5 minutes after the dirt hit her lid, reading, "Ruby, forgive me, but he stole your life from you." The swap was his idea. End it. It wasn't grief that hit me first. It was rage, pure and electric, the kind that rewires your brain and turns your veins to barbed wire. I'd always known Dad was a snake in a suit, climbing the corporate ladder at that Louisville pharma giant by stepping on necks. But this was biblical, a curse wrapped in a family photo album. Mom's text wasn't some glitch or dying hallucination. It unlocked everything. The headaches I'd dismissed as stress since college, the way my reflections sometimes flickered like bad reception, the dreams where I wasn't me. Body swaps aren't fairy tales. They're black market experiments for the elite, and Dad had peddled one to cover his tracks. He'd swapped me with his bastard daughter from an affair, a kid named Lila he'd groomed to take my spot in the family fortune, while I woke up in her junky haze, scraping by in trailer parks, taking the fall for his embezzlement schemes. The secret he'd buried? Mom had known all along, protected me by playing along until cancer ate her from the inside. Now, with her gone, it was payback time. Controversial, ugly, the sort of revenge that'd make good folks clutch their pearls and bad ones cheer from the shadows. I didn't cry at the funeral. I plotted. By midnight, holed up in our old ranch house on the outskirts of Louisville, peeling white siding in a yard overgrown with kudzu that strangled the rose bushes Mom loved. I was digging through her closet like a grave robber. Her phone, hidden in a shoebox under the Louboutins she never wore, held the proof. Encrypted emails from Dad's assistant detailing the swap procedure, some underground clinic in the Appalachians run by ex-CIA quacks peddling identity resets to the 1%ers dodging indictments. The procedure? Nanotech cocktail injected during a routine checkup. I'd gotten one at 16, right after Dad's business trip to Bristol. It dormant until triggered, flipping consciousness like a light switch. Lila got my Ivy League polish, my trust fund shares in Dad's company, while I got her rap sheet. Petty thefts Dad framed me for to launder money, overdoses that weren't mine, a life sentence in poverty while she sipped mimosas at my alma mater Yale. The text from Mom? It was her failsafe, sent via a timed app she'd rigged with her oncologist. The swap was his idea. Yeah, to protect his empire. Dad? Victor Hale, VP of Acquisitions at Hale Farm, the kind of guy who golfs with senators and donates to PACs that keep big pharma's claws in Medicare, had cooked the books for years. When the feds started sniffing, he needed a patsy. Me, his troubled daughter Ruby, perfect for the fall. But swapping me out? Genius, evil genius. Lila, his real blood from that summer fling with his secretary in '98, was the blank slate. She got my body, my memories implanted shallowly enough to fool the world, while I clawed through withdrawal in hers, piecing together fragments of a life that wasn't mine. Mom had suspected, confronted him, but he gaslit her into silence with threats of institutionalizing me, the addict. She'd endured chemo alone, whispering clues in voicemails I'd deleted in my fog, until that final message cracked the vault. I poured bourbon, Maker's Mark, Mom's vice, from the kitchen cabinet, the burn steadying my hands as I scrolled the emails. Dad's mistress, Kendra, wasn't just arm candy. She was complicit, the clinic's liaison, her yoga-toned ass funded by kickbacks. They'd been planning this since my relapse, last year, which was really Lila testing the swap's permanence. Controversial decision number 1. I could have gone to the cops, spilled it all in a tearful press conference, but that'd make me the crazy one, daughter of a dead woman, raving about body swaps like some tinfoil hat truther. No, revenge had to be personal, surgical, the kind that leaves scars no lawsuit can touch. I booked a red-eye to Knoxville that night, cash from Mom's emergency stash, my duffel packed with her old .38 revolver, unregistered, a Southern girl's best friend, and a USB drive of those emails, my nuclear option. The drive to the clinic was a blur of interstate blacktop and Waffle House coffee, Dolly Parton crooning Jolene on the radio like a warning. Appalachia swallowed me whole. Fog-shrouded hollers where meth labs outnumbered churches, the air thick with pine and regret. The clinic squatted off Highway 81, a nondescript strip mall fronting as holistic wellness, but the back alley reeked of bleach and desperation. I parked in the shadows, heart hammering like a bass line at a Nashville dive bar, and slipped in through the service door, lock-picked with a credit card and spite. The place was empty save for the hum of servers in a back room, monitors flickering with patient files. Lila's, my old, file popped up first. Subject RH, integration successful. Anomalies, occasional dissociation. Bitch had been living my life, posting Instagram reels from my Yale dorm, tagging Dad at galas. But it was Dad's file that gutted me. Victor Hale, primary beneficiary. Swap initiated to mitigate liability exposure. Attached. Bank wires to offshore accounts, laundered through Hale Farm's opioid trials, the same ones that hooked half of eastern Kentucky. He'd framed me not just for theft, but for falsifying trial data, a felony that'd land me in federal pound-me-in-the-ass prison while he cashed out. The betrayal sank in like moonshine. Mom had taken the blame for one audit glitch, her signature forged on docs that masked his theft, dooming her career as a nurse, accelerating her stress-induced cancer. She'd borne it for me, her real, Ruby, whispering lullabies over prison calls I didn't remember making. I jacked the server, downloading everything to my drive, then torched the hard copies in a trash bin, flames licking up like vindication. Sirens wailed distant, time to ghost. Back in the Jeep, I fired up a burner laptop, anonymous email to a journalist at the Louisville Courier-Journal. Hale Farm whistleblower, swap cover-up exposed. Attached, teasers, no full payload. Let the rats scatter first. My phone lit up, Kendra from Dad's line. Ruby? Where the hell are you? Your father's worried. Worried. I laughed, a jagged sound, and texted back, tell Vic I'm coming home. For real this time. Dawn broke bloody over the ridges as I crossed back into Kentucky, the bourbon haze lifting to reveal the plan coalescing. Controversial decision too. I'd reverse the swap. Not legally. Feds don't touch sci-fi shit, but brutally. Mom's emails mentioned a reversal trigger, a second dose, keyed to DNA markers, hidden in the clinic's vault. I'd stolen the vial on impulse, tucked in my bra like contraband lipstick. Inject it into Lila. Now me. And we'd flip back, but with a twist. The docs warned of neural bleed. Memories merging, psyches fracturing. Risky? Hell yes. Moral? In a world where dads swap daughters like poker chips, moralities for suckers. Louisville welcomed me with rush hour snarl. The Ohio River sluggish under the Big Four bridge, barges hauling coal like the weight on my chest. I ditched the Jeep in a long-term lot at the airport, stolen plates, untraceable, and Ubered to the Hale estate in Anchorage, that gated McMansion suburb where lawns are manicured greener than envy. Dad's Jag was in the drive, Kendra's Beamer beside it. He'd cut the trip short, probably after my email drop hit the wires. I slipped through the backyard, past the pool where Mom taught me to swim, her laughter echoing ghost-like. The French doors to the study creaked open. Unlocked, arrogant bastard. And there they were, Dad at his desk, scotch in hand, Kendra perched on the edge, her hand on his thigh like she owned the place. Ruby, Dad drawled, that fake southern charm dripping like cane syrup. We were just talking about you. Sit down, darling. His eyes, my eyes and Lila's face across the room, her lounging on the leather sofa in yoga pants and a Hale Farm tee, flickered with calculation. Lila smirked, twirling a lock of my old auburn hair. Sis, she purred, voice mine but laced with trailer trash twang she couldn't shake. Heard you went sightseeing. I didn't sit. I pulled Mom's .38, steady as a surgeon's hand, and leveled it at Dad's chest. The swap ends tonight. Or I paint this room with what's left of your empire. Kendra gasped, theatrical as a soap opera, but Dad just leaned back, unfazed. Nanotech fairy tales? You're cracking, girl. Put that away before you hurt yourself. Hurt myself. The words ignited something primal, a scream building since the funeral. I swung the barrel to Lila. You. Upstairs. Now. Reversal shots in my bag. One wrong move, and I pulled the trigger on him first. What followed was chaos distilled. Kendra lunging for the phone, me pistol whipping her into the credenza, brass lamp shattering like her Botox dreams, Dad rising slow, hands up, monologuing about family reconciliation, while I herded Lila to Mom's old room. The vial glinted under the vanity light, iridescent like snake oil. Lila begged, tears smearing her. My mascara. I didn't ask for this, Ruby. He made me. Said it was temporary, just till the heat died. Lies. But her fear was real, cracking the facade. Controversial decision 3, mercy? Or make her feel the swap's violation? I jabbed the needle into her neck. No preamble, the plunger hissing like a confession. She convulsed, eyes rolling white. And then, the world tilted. It hit like a freight train, memories flooding, hers and mine colliding in a psychic pileup. Flash of her first hit of Oxy in a Bowling Green motel, Dad's hand steadying the spoon. My Yale interview, nerves jangling, Mom's proud call after. Her abortion at 19, alone in a clinic parking lot, rain masking the sobs. My prom night, awkward kiss under stadium lights. The bleed was merciless, psyches tangling like kudzu, her rage at abandonment fueling mine, my grief sharpening her survival edge. When the vertigo cleared, I was back, staring at my reflection, truly mine, freckles and fire in the eyes. Lila slumped, changed too. Her body hers again, scrawny and scarred, but with slivers of my poise etched in. Downstairs, sirens wailed. Kendra's 911 finally connected. Dad bolted for the safe room, but I was faster, drive in hand, uploading the full files to WikiLeaks from my phone as cuffs clicked on Kendra. You think this ends me? He snarled from the squad car, face pressed to glass, rain streaking like tears he wouldn't shed. I'm untouchable. Senators, lawyers. I leaned in, close enough to smell his cologne, the same as Mom's casket spray. Untouchable? Watch the morning news. Vic opioid whistleblowers your daughter. The real one. The twist came at dawn, as feds swarmed the estate, Lila catatonic in an ambulance, her merged mind a mosaic of us. Interrogators hauled me in, but the files spoke. Dad's empire crumbling in real-time headlines. Hale Farm stock tanking, senators scrambling. But Mom's final voicemail, played in evidence. Her voice frail, loving, revealed the gut punch. Ruby, baby, I knew about Lila from the start. Victor's fling. It was mine too. We swapped you both to protect her from him, from the life he planned. But he twisted it, took you instead. Forgive us both. Us. Mom had orchestrated the original swap, a desperate bid to shield her secret child, Lila, from Dad's grooming, but he'd hijacked it for his crimes. Betrayal doubled, layered like Kentucky bourbon. I'd avenged the wrong ghost. In the end, it was tragic. Dad rotted in Supermax. Kendra flipped for immunity, but haunted by neural echoes. Lila and I, sisters now, fractured, sharing a psych ward wing, piecing psyches under fluorescent hum. Happy. In the American way, rags from riches, justice served cold with a side of what-ifs. But as I stared at the Ohio from my window, river flowing indifferent, I wondered, who won the swap? The dead mom with her secrets, or the daughters left holding the shattered pieces? You decide. The psych ward in Lexington smelled like bleach and broken promises, the kind of place where fluorescent lights buzzed like angry hornets, and orderlies shuffled with the weary gait of folks who'd seen too many rock bottoms. It had been 3 weeks since the swap reversal, since Dad's arrest splashed across every feed from Fox to MSNBC. Headlines screaming, Pharma airs body swap scandal. Daughter or doppelganger? And the world had moved on, but I hadn't. Not fully. The neural bleed left me with Lila's cravings itching under my skin like invisible tattoos, her memories bleeding into mine at the worst moments. The sting of a needle in a Knoxville trap house, the hollow ache of signing away parental rights to a baby that wasn't mine, but felt like it now. I'd wake sweating, convinced I was her again, scraping nickels for bus fare while Ruby Hale schmoozed at Yale Mixers. Lila was in the room across the hall, our old body wasted thin, eyes darting like a cornered fox. We didn't talk much at first, shrinks mediated, probing with questions that felt like scalpels. Do you feel ownership over the shared trauma? Ownership, as if betrayal came with a deed. But late nights, when the meds wore thin, she'd slip notes under my door. Sorry for the prom dress. It itched. Or, Your mom's meatloaf recipe, mine now. It was tentative, this sisterhood forged in fire, but real, raw as bourbon on a fresh tattoo. Controversial decision 4. I could have cut her loose, let the feds paint her as accomplice, but blood, diluted, swapped, whatever, whispered otherwise. We'd share the fallout, or none at all. Outside, the scandal raged like a brush fire in dry August grass. Hale Farms board ousted Dad posthumously. No, he was alive, but professionally dead, his shares frozen pending RICO charges. Class action suits piled up from Appalachian families who'd lost kids to the laced pills he'd greenlit, their stories hitting my news alerts like punches. Victor Hale's empire built on our graves. Mom's role trickled out too, leaked voicemails painting her as co-conspirator, not victim, headlines twisting protective mother or mastermind. Protests clogged downtown Louisville, pitchforks and placards outside the old Hale HQ. A gleaming glass tower, now picketed by ghosts in fentanyl-ravaged faces. I watched from my hospital bed, for dripping sedatives, wondering if this was revenge's true face. Not a bullet, but a mirror reflecting the rot we'd all enabled. Discharge came on a crisp October morning, leaves turning the bluegrass gold and crimson like spilled stage blood. Lila and I walked out together, arm in arm, hers bony, mine steady, into a world that no longer fit. The estate was seized, so we crashed at Auntie's in Prospect, a widow's bungalow with lace curtains and a fridge stocked with Jell-O salads. Auntie, Mom's sister, chain-smoking Virginia Slims, hugged us fierce, whispering, "Your mama loved y'all equal, messy as it was." Messy, understatement of the century. That night, over fried chicken from Royals, she spilled the unvarnished. Mom's affair with Dad's golf buddy. A fleeting thing in '97 that birthed Lila, hushed with payoffs and prayers. She wanted to raise her right, away from Victor's shadow. The swap. It was her idea, to give Lila a clean slate in your shoes. But Vic? He saw dollar signs, twisted it into his escape hatch. The truth inverted again, layers peeling like onion skin. Mom hadn't just borne my fall. She'd engineered the cage, thinking it salvation. Forgiveness? A luxury for folks without merged psyches. Instead, I channeled the rage into action. Controversial decision 5. Go public, not as victim, but avenger. I lawyered up with the ACLU firebrand from Cincinnati, a butch dyke named Marla who chain-smoked clove cigarettes and quoted Ginsberg between depositions. We sued Hale Farm for everything, wrongful identity theft, emotional distress, the works. But the real play? Victim fund. I'd funnel my cut, whatever scraps remained, into rehab clinics dotting the hollers, nanotech reversals for the swapped underclass Dad's clinic had preyed on. Lila signed on too, her testimony the hammer. I woke up in a stranger's life, high on her memories, low on mine. The deposition was a circus, federal courthouse in downtown Louisville buzzing with reporters like flies on roadkill. Dad, shackled and orange jumpsuit, leered from the stand, his empire reduced to commissary baloney. Ruby's always been dramatic, he sneered, that patrician drawl intact. Body swaps. Delusions from her. Indiscretions. Indiscretions. Code for the rap sheet he'd pinned on me. I took the stand next, voice steady. The .38's ghost weight in my palm metaphorical now. Indiscretions like falsifying opioid trials? Or swapping your daughters to dodge the noose. Gasps rippled. The judge banged his gavel like thunder. Marla slid me a note. Twist incoming. She dropped the bomb. Clinic logs showing Dad not just beneficiary, but investor. Hale Farms R&D slush fund bankrolled the nanotech, tested on unwitting junkies and pilot programs. Pandemonium. Reporters stampeded. Dad's face drained ghost white, the untouchable mask cracking. But the real twist slithered in during recess. A sidebar with the prosecutor, a grizzled Fed named Harlan from the hills. Off record, Miss Hale, your ma? She wasn't clean. Those audits she took the fall for? She cooked him, too, to cover Vic's tracks early on. Loved him blind, till she didn't. Blind love. The kind that swaps daughters and buries secrets. I nodded, numb, as Lila squeezed my hand under the table, her touch electric with shared recall. Mom's laughter at a family picnic, masking the lie. Court adjourned to uproar, but victory tasted like ash. That night, back at Auntie's, Lila and I cracked a bottle of Pappy Van Winkle. Dad's hoarded stash, liberated by Marla's paralegal. We toasted to ghosts, the bourbon smooth as regret. "What now?" she asked, voice a hybrid of ours, twang softened by my cadence. "We rebuild," I said, but the words hung hollow. Rebuild what? A sisterhood stitched from betrayal? A life unswapped but scarred? Controversial decision 6. I proposed we burn it all, metaphorically, mostly. We torched Dad's old files in the backyard fire pit, ashes swirling like fireflies, then drove to the clinic ruins, raided, boarded up, and spray-painted the walls. No more swaps. Graffiti therapy, Southern style. Winter crept in, snow dusting the Ohio like powdered sugar on a beignet, burying the scandals under fresh outrages. Hale Farm rebranded as New Horizon Therapeutics, Pinky swearing ethics reforms, but the victim fund launched strong. My name on the letterhead, Ruby Hale, advocate. Lila enrolled in community college, nursing track like Mom, her grades sharp with my borrowed smarts. We dated cautiously. Me, a quiet carpenter named Jax from the farmer's market, all calluses and corny jokes. Her, a barista with tattoos and trust issues. Normalcy, fragile as spun glass. But tension simmered, dark undercurrents in the calm. Dad's appeals dragged, his letters smuggled via a guard. Vitriol scrawled in Sharpie. "You owe me blood." Kendra, out on bail, ghosted Insta stories from Miami, bikini-clad and bitter. And the dreams. Merged nightmares where I was both, swapping mid-sentence. Mom's face morphing between savior and sinner. One February night, storm raging like the funeral redux, my phone buzzed. Not a text, but a video link from an anonymous sender. Kendra's voiceover, slurred. "You think it's over, Ruby? Vic's got friends. Real power." Cut to footage. Grainy cam of the clinic, pre-raid. Dad injecting a vial into a strapped-down figure. Me? Lila? No. A stranger, eyes wide with terror. The shatter. It wasn't just us swapped. Dad's program had dozens, undocumented migrants, foster kids, vanished into trials. Our revenge? A drop in the bucket. The video ended with coordinates. An abandoned warehouse in Jeffersontown. Come alone, or it leaks. Your mom's full role exposed. Exposed. The final layer. Mom hadn't just twisted the swap. She'd sourced subjects, nurses' access to the vulnerable, believing it saved them from streets worse than science. Hero or horror? The debate I'd sparked now looped back, a noose of my making. I grabbed the keys, .38 from the glove box, old habits, and texted Lila, "Stay put. Finishing this." The drive was fury-fueled, wipers slashing rain, radio crackling with a Lynyrd Skynyrd cover that felt prophetic. The warehouse loomed, rusted silos like forgotten gods, and inside, Kendra, flanked by two goons in cheap suits. Dad's leftover muscle. "The prodigal psycho," she sneered, cigarette glowing like a fuse. "Vic sends regards. Hand over the fund keys, or the vids drop. Your whole family's a freak show." Controversial decision 7. No negotiation. I raised the gun, but she laughed, cueing her phone. Footage rolling, Mom in scrubs, wheeling a gurney, voice clinical. Subject 47. Prep for integration. My stomach lurched, betrayal's abyss. The goons lunged. I fired wild, clipping one's knee, chaos erupting in shouts and scuffles. Kendra bolted for a side door, but I tackled her into crates of moldy pharma samples, the .38 skittering away. "Why?" I gasped, pinning her, rain leaking through the roof pattering like accusations. "For him. After everything." She spat blood, eyes wild. "Power, Ruby. You wouldn't get it, born with a silver spoon. Vic promised me the board seat, post-swap. But you unraveled it." Lies cracked under pressure. She sobbed then, the mistress unmasked as Mark. "He swapped me too once. With his first wife. Left me in her shell, memories bleeding till I broke." Sympathy flickered, dangerous, but the sirens, Lila, bless her, calling it in, wailed close. Cops swarmed, Kendra cuffed beside her goons, the video seized as evidence. Back home, dawn breaking pale, Lila waited with coffee and quiet. "Mom's monster too," she whispered. I nodded, the weight crushing. But in the wreckage, a spark. We'd expose it all, no redactions. The fund expanded, Hale Legacy Project, reversals for the swap forgotten. Dad's trial loomed, his appeals crushed under the new files. Kendra flipped again, testifying to the network. Power. We'd dismantle it, brick by pharma brick. Spring bloomed defiant, dogwoods pink against the scars. Lila and I stood at Mom's grave, fresh flowers, no tears, and whispered our own eulogy. You broke us to save us. We forgive the mess. Happy ending? In America, it's earned, gritty, sisters unswapped, revenge a relay race. But the twist lingers. Was justice the swap's true reversal, or just another layer? Debate rages in comments sections, therapy sessions. Me? I sleep sounder, Jax's arm anchor, the Ohio whispering absolution. For now. Summer hit Kentucky like a hangover. Humid, relentless, the air thick enough to chew, cicadas screaming from the sycamores like nature's own Greek chorus. 6 months post-warehouse brawl, and the Hale saga had morphed from tabloid fodder to docuseries pitch. Netflix scouts circling, true crime pods dissecting the swap sisters, with the glee of vultures at a kill. Dad's trial kicked off in federal court, a 3-ring circus of suits and subpoenas, the gallery packed with victims' families, hollow-eyed widows clutching faded photos of sons lost to Hale Farm's miracle painkillers. I testified again, Lila beside me, our merged poise a weapon sharper than any .38. He didn't just steal pills, I told the jury, voice echoing off the oak panels. He stole lives, bodies, souls, futures. Dad glared from the dock, diminished in his ill-fitting jumpsuit, but his eyes burned with that old viper cunning. The prosecution star? Kendra, state's evidence incarnate. Her Miami tan faded under fluorescent glare. She spilled like a confessional. The network's reach, clinics from Biloxi to Boise, swapping debtors for donors, politicians for patsies. Victor's vision, she croaked, voice raspy from too many Marlboros, clean slates for the filthy rich. The twist she dangled? Mom's deeper dive, not just sourcing, but pioneering. Turns out, during her nursing days at University Hospital, Mom had moonlighted on early trials, injecting nanotech into terminal patients, easing their passage, she'd called it in logs. Mercy killing by identity theft. The courtroom gasped. Even the judge, a grizzled ex-prosecutor from Paducah, pinched his nose like it had gone sour. Dad's lawyer pounced. Co-conspirator. Hale women, cut from tainted cloth. But Marla cross-examined like a prizefighter, exposing Kendra's swaps, 3, by her count, each leaving her more fractured, loyal only to survival. Verdict dropped like a guillotine. Guilty on all counts. Fraud, trafficking, manslaughter. Life. No parole. The gavel's crack echoing Mom's casket thud. Dad didn't flinch, just mouthed traitors as marshals hauled him. Outside, protesters cheered, but I felt hollow, revenge's aftertaste, bitter as chicory coffee. Lila hugged me tight. Her frame filled out now, yoga and greens working wonders. We got him, she murmured. But her. Mom's shadow loomed. The debate eternal, monster or martyr. Auntie hosted a wake of sorts that night. Barbecue on the deck, ribs sticky with sauce. Uncle Ray firing up stories of Mom's wild youth. Pre-Vic, dancing barefoot at river hoedowns. She fought for the forgotten, he said, beer in hand. Swaps were her scalpel. Cut out the pain, even if it's scarred. Controversial decision 8, public reckoning. With Marla's nudge, Lila and I launched the podcast, Swapped Lives, unmasking the invisible, raw convos with survivors. A Detroit auto worker in a tycoon's husk, dodging assassins. A Latina mom from El Paso, her kids calling a stranger mommy. Episodes dropped Thursdays, climbing charts, donations flooding the fund. But fame's a double-edged blade. Trolls doxing our digs, death threats pinging burners. Finish what Vic started. Jax, solid as oak, installed cameras, his carpenter hands gentle on the trigger during range days. You don't have to solo this, he'd say, post-love, tangled in sheets scented with sawdust and sweat. I believed him, mostly, normalcy's glue, sticky and sweet. Fall brought harvest moons and high stakes. The civil suits peaked, Hale Farm settling for billions, our cut seeding clinics nationwide, reversals free for the swapped, therapy for the bleeds. Lila aced her finals, pinned her scrubs with a grin that was half hers, half mine. Nurse Ruby Lila, she joked, stethoscope gleaming. We road-tripped the Bourbon Trail that October, pappy tastings in rickhouses dim as cathedrals, toasting to unburying secrets. But tension coiled tight. Dad's appeal loomed, backed by dark money packs, whispers of a pardon from a governor he'd golfed with. And Kendra? Vanished post-trial. Witness protection her ticket to oblivion, but a postcard arrived. Beware the bleed back. It's in you now. Neural echoes? Or threat? The climax brewed on All Hallows' Eve, Louisville's highlands pulsing with costumed revelry, zombies and witches thronging Bardstown Road, air fizzy with pumpkin ale and pot. We were at a fundraiser for the fund, VFW hall decked in orange crepe, donors mingling with survivors over deviled eggs and despair. Jax manned the bar, charming as a fox. Lila worked the room, her laugh a bridge. Me? I slipped out for air, the Ohio's chill nipping like regret, when my phone vibrated. Unknown number, video call. Answered on instinct. Dad's face, grainy from Supermax video link, eyes manic. Ruby. Or Lila. Whoever's piloting that meat suit now. Hackles rose. He'd bribed a guard, no doubt. Clock's ticking. Girls, he rasped, background clanging like Hell's Gates. Appeals live. Governor owes me. Opioid pack funneled big. But I need the originals. Clinic vials, your ma's logs. Destroy M, or I drop the full tape. Her face, signing off on swaps like a goddamn Bond villain. The tape, enhanced, damning, mom's voiceover footage of euthanasia sessions. Release it, and the fund craters, our advocacy tainted. Family discount, he leered. Meet at the old estate, midnight. Come alone. Heart slamming like a bass drum, I pocketed the phone, mind racing. Controversial decision 9, trap him. I texted Marla, Lila, Jax, silent alarm. The estate, foreclosed but unlocked for asset review, loomed dark on its hill, windows gaping like empty sockets. I arrived early, .38 tucked in my coat. Peace bond be damned, flashlight beam cutting fog. Footsteps crunched gravel, not dad, but shadows. 3 figures, ski masked, Kendra's silhouette unmistakable in the moonlight, her laugh a hyena's cackle. Vic's proxy, she said, stepping forward, goons fanning out. Pardon comes easier without loose ends. The fight was primal, no holds barred, southern grit versus desperation. One goon lunged. I sidestepped, knee to groin. .38 cracking a warning shot into the dirt. Kendra charged, nails raking, but Lila burst from the tree lean. Pepper spray blazing, Jax flanking with a tire iron swiped from the truck. Marla's cavalry, feds in unmarked SUVs, sirens silent till the takedown. Kendra thrashed in cuffs. You can't stop it. The network's bigger, senators, CEOs. But we had the tape, seized from her phone. Dad's call routed through her, the bribe logged. Dawn interrogated us all. Dad's appeal tanked. Governor resigning in scandal's wake. The network unraveling in raids from D.C. to Dallas. Kendra? Facing conspiracy charges, her swap scars bared in psych evals. A woman unmade by men. The final twist inverted once more. In her cell confession, she admitted sourcing mom's euthanasia logs for leverage, but twisted them. Edits making mercy look malice. The real files, recovered from estate safes? Mom's notes, swaps not for death, but rebirth. Give the dying a second skin, free of pain. Martyr, after all. The debate died quiet, footnotes in history. Winter thawed to spring, the fund thriving, clinics humming, swaps reversing like bad dreams banished. Lila graduated, RN pin shining. Jax proposed under dogwoods, rings simple as his smile. We buried the .38 at mom's grave, marker etched. Ruby and Lila hail, unswapped, unbroken. Happy? Hell yes, American dream reclaimed, scars as medals. But the U-darks linger. In quiet moments, I feel the bleed, her laugh in my throat, his shadow in the mirror. Revenge? A cycle, broken but echoing. What price for truth? You tell me, over bourbon, under stars. The river rolls on, indifferent witness.